This is an Off the Tongue podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the show. You are listening to It's Funny That Makes It Okay. I am Doug.
I am Greg.
And Mike is still on sabbatical or baby duty or whatever he's doing.
Diaper changing. He's doing all of that. Having all that good fun. Having a blast.
Well, we are the It's Funny That Makes It Okay podcast. We're part of the Off the Tongue podcast network.
That's right.
There's other podcasts out there that the Greener Grass podcast, Original Copycats, Pint Pals.
I think there's Skate Ohio.
There's several other ones. So if you get done with ours or you stop it 13 seconds after I stop talking right now, you're like, I don't know. We're not your cup of tea. Check out the Off the Tongue podcast network. There's something for everyone.
I'm decaf.
Decaf?
Tea, yeah.
I'm a nice mint tea. I like an herbal,
tea.
like a sleepy time tea.
I'd like to be an Earl Grey, actually.
Earl Grey.
I feel like that seems proper.
A little pretentious. It's a little pretentious.
I'm the Earl Grey.
Earl Grey. See, I like the sleepy time tea.
Sleepy time.
The herbal tea. All right, well, we are going to jump right in. I've got an ad that popped up for a class action lawsuit that took me down a rabbit hole of plastic surgeries. So we're going to talk a little medical stuff. Then I had an article that came up that said 11 things that Gen X had to deal with that Gen Z never will. And they're like, yeah, that's interesting. We'll talk about some of those. And then we have a disgruntled customer that gets into a bit of a scrum with a Starbucks barista through the drive-thru. So we'll take a look at that and see if that's ever happened to you or maybe not the same way.
I would wager it hasn't to most
Probably
people.
Not this. And it's not in Florida.
No.
I'm telling you that because that's telling you the direction we're going.
It's somewhere else.
It is somewhere else. So last few weeks ago, I was scrolling through, as one is wont to do, the social media feeds. And you get all these little pop-up ads of different things. And I got this one for a class action lawsuit. Because they have class action. Were you stationed at Camp Pendleton?
Or Camp Lejeune?
Yeah. Did you work on ships that now have whatever that is? Mesothelioma?
Yeah.
Or, whatever. Yeah. Were you injured
Call
at work?
1-800-LAW.
1-800 get your money. Like, whatever. But this one says lawyers are now filing claims for those who suffered complications from defective Cartiva toe implants.
Is that the brand, Cartiva?
I guess.
So I wonder if there's other brands.
There could be. Kirkland.
Kirkland.
Well, you get all 10 for, these you got to buy one at a time.
You might get 11.
You get the 10
Kirkland.
A couple extra. But my thought was, I had never heard of toe implants. I'm like, what?
What are you going for with those?
Well, my toes are just not plump. They're not nice and fat and plump. They're flat. Maybe the ladies out there in the summertime, they're wanting to wear flip-flops or open heel. Well, they could have open heel, but that wouldn't help you with the toe implants necessarily. Open-toed shoes. Maybe they want a little toe cleavage going. It's like, it's just flat across there.
Well, they want them extra long.
I guess it could go that direction. See, I was thinking plumper,
like a Botox filler.
Yeah, like a Tommy Toe tomato or a little cherry tomato or a big grape.
Fat toes,
big fat toe,
skinny feet, but fat toes.
Because they have a close up of this woman's feet real close, and she has big toes. If that's her feet, I don't know if that's. You can't really tell if it's her feet or not. There's feet, and then like a blurrier picture of a woman's face behind it.
Like she's looking down at her feet.
Yeah, so it could just be somebody else's, but.
They would be sitting weird if it was somebody.
I could be sitting on the bed. You could be at the end of the bed. Pop up. I'm going to take pictures of you. Well, there's probably that's going to go another direction. Yeah, there probably are people that do that, but not me. I wish
we're going to say these are her feet.
Yes, I wish Mike was here because listen, for those of you who don't know, I am not a feet guy. I'm glad to have feet. They kind of gross me out. I don't want to see feet necessarily. And we know Mike is worse than I am with it. I don't think he ever takes his own socks off. I think he showers with them. I don't know. I don't know what happens.
I touched my toe.
He does not like feet. But now there are some true
What do you
medical.
think he'll do with the baby? You think he'll touch the baby's feet?
Baby feet are different. I don't mind baby feet. They're kind of cute. Baby feet are kind of cute.
You can even kiss them. You're like, It's like,
well, yeah, they haven't been defiled.
They haven't been trodden.
They haven't been
yet.
defiled yet. They're nice.
They're clean,
new baby feet.
They don't
like
have
baby
implants.
feet. Baby feet are cute. Little baby shoes are cute.
They are.
You know, you play the little game with the baby. You when you're changing their diaper or whatever, you grab their feet and you go, stinky feet, or whatever. You do that, and it's like, ah, ha, ha. But I think once they hit like the toddlers, you don't want to be.
Once the feet hit the floor,
yeah, you're kind of like, nope, you're on your own now.
Yeah.
Once you're up and walking, that's a no zone.
Yeah,
it's a no go zone now with the feet. But I didn't mean to derail us there. So I did look that some of the reasons people would get these, like if they've had horrible arthritis, it can help like cushion the cartilage or the joint around. It's like, okay, that makes some sense but some of it is cosmetic.
See, but this to me says implants. It doesn't say Botox or a filler. It's like implants. Like, so you're putting some sort of extension on somehow.
Well, and the picture that when I did the research, it was like almost like a cushion that they would put in, and it would like have a gel or something around to cushion the toe.
Ooh, you got silicone toes.
Well, I would like that actually.
Are those real?
They're spectacular. But so that got me in a whole wormhole of other. I found a thing that said strange but true plastic surgeries.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, so what are people out there doing? And there are a bunch. I'm not going to get into them, a bunch of them, but warning up front, we are going to talk about some surgical things. Some of them, we'll keep it clean, but there are a little more adult themed. So if you don't want this, maybe hit the button and go ahead, 3-4 minutes. And
so if heaven forbid your 5-year-old is listening to this podcast,
then you're a horrible parent and your kids should be taken away from you. What are you doing? What is wrong with you? No. So one of the first ones that popped up here was umbilicoplasty.
Umbilicoplasty.
So I'm like, what is it? It's your belly button, and you can have plastic surgery on your belly button. I thought, well, okay, people have an outie. Maybe they want an innie or something. You got this thumb size thing protruding from your stomach. But that's not what this is. The sites that I went to, I'm going to have to scrub my phone, probably throw my phone away after some of the sites I had to go to for researching here. But it's for people that just don't like the look of their belly button, so they make it look prettier or like it's more aesthetically pleasing. I'm like, what? How bad is your belly button? They showed it before and after, and the before is like, I'm not a big belly button guy either, but it's like, whatever, okay. But the pictures of the belly button before were just like, well, it's just kind of a gross looking belly button, but it didn't look a whole lot better, I didn't think. I don't know.
Is this on the 7 weird ones that you shared with me?
No, this was on, I don't know which one this was. This is the CBS one. 13 bizarre but popular.
Hold it.
There should have been 3 on there. So what they did is that the one is, it's not really an innie or an outie. It's kind of like just flat, and they made it go more in. It's the picture that they show of this.
Okay. I don't think I'm looking at let me get to the right one here.
It's CBS News. Sorry about that, everybody out there. I'll put a link out there. You guys can follow along.
Follow along.
Yeah, there should be one by CBS that says 13.
Okay. Let me bounce back
bizarre
over here.
Bizarre but popular plastic surgeries.
Thought I opened that one. It's weird. Okay.
Anyway,
because it's weird. The umbilical one was in the other one you shared.
Yeah, yeah,
and it was.
Just a description.
They said it was you could take an outie to an innie.
That I kind of understand. If you have an outie, I don't want to. I wouldn't want an outie belly button either. That would make me. I don't like touching my belly button. I'm not it's like sticking anything in my belly button. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah. The one dude's looking like you said, kind of looks like a swirl or something. It's
like almost like a cinnamon bun or something. But it's not really an outie. It's just kind of, but not bad enough where I think I would, oh, man, I need to go have some plastic surgery and have
his
that
after does look better, though.
Does it? I don't know.
It's more aesthetically pleasing.
I'm ambivalent on it. I don't know that I have a feeling one way or another, but I'm kind of grossed out by both of them.
Ambivalent?
Ambivalent, yes. Another one I came across was palm lines. You can have palm lines. Why would you need that? Is somebody out there with their like Ken palms? They're just slick plastic. They don't have palm lines.
Well, maybe they want a lot of palm lines.
Well, I want a ton. I went to the palm reader and they said there's nothing here.
You need to have a palmectomy.
But they said they'll use lasers and etch lines into your, which I don't know. They're just wrinkles of when you close your hand. This must be people that don't do any work. They just sit there with their hands out, because if you use your hands at all, they close up and it creates the creases and lines in your hands.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't know. It says people who believe in palm reading but aren't happy with their own lines now have a way to cheat fate. Palm line surgery uses electric scalpel to create artificial palm lines that promise more money, love, and happiness.
Well, wouldn't that be kind of cheating if you went to the palm reader?
I would think so.
You know, hey, this palm does not look natural. We've got some extra ones here.
What if you did that and you go in and it's like, oh man, this says you're going to die in 3 weeks. Oh
Yeah.
crap.
Why do you have 2 lifelines?
That's right. Well, speaking of cheating, they have something called poker talks.
Poker talks.
I'm like, what is poker talks?
To give you a poker face?
Well, yes.
Does it?
Yes. It uses Botox facial filler injections to manipulate your facial appearance. Gamblers do this. And the goal is to eliminate any kind of a poker player's tell. So they are expressionless. I think that's cheating. I would kick you out of my, if I found that out, I would kick you out of my game. It's
Yeah.
like, no, you can't do that.
They have a really good poker face.
I'm not a fan of, if you ever see anybody play poker, they'll have like the world championship of poker. I wouldn't let people wear sunglasses either. Like, no
Yeah.
sunglasses. No, you just show up with the face God gave you, and that's it. That's what you're getting.
Well, you see people on TV that's had just Botox, and they're already kind of
Yeah,
like
they
that.
can't
It's
smile or they're permanently smiling.
facial filler. It sounds like Bondo.
It does. They also, this is related to the toe, they have a foot filler. And that is where you can put filler, inject it into your foot to make your foot more plump. So maybe you got real skinny, bony feet.
Oh, maybe I do have skinny feet. Maybe I
you
need that.
Maybe you're a candidate. Maybe you are a candidate.
So if I get, or maybe I still like the idea of leaving my feet skinny but plump up my toes.
real big toes.
Yeah, real fat, thick toes and then skinny feet.
That would gross me out. I picture, if Mike is listening, he's probably thrown up 3 times since we've started this. Now, there is a medical reason for this, because I was looking and it was like, people do that. But they also say sometimes for women, especially, like they'll wear heels, they'll wear things. As they get older, their body will lose like muscle and fat in there, especially in the feet.
Yeah.
And it will hurt to wear shoes. So they'll get these fillers put in. It's kind of like a cushion, again, to help out with shoes or what have you.
Just fill your whole body with this stuff. You'll be one big cushion.
Eat Reese's. I'm a giant. I got filler in everywhere, man. I got filler in my butt.
I don't know. It didn't go to your
my
toes, though, I don't think.
You haven't seen my toes. I have big fat Reese's
You got
toes.
Reese toes? Reese toes.
Reese's toes. Dimpleplasty. Now, would you?
I don't have dimples. Maybe I could get a dimpleplasty.
For some people, dimples are simply a cosmetic quirk, something that makes them stand out in a crowd. Others see dimples as a sign of beauty and desirable. So the dimpleplasty creates dimples. They cut small incisions in your cheek and then stitch the skin. And it's like, that's...
I thought maybe they put a little bar across the inside of your mouth connecting the two and then tighten it up and it pulls them in.
I picture the guy just coming in with a stapler and putting it up in your head like, chunk, chunk. Like, oh, there we go.
Yeah, you got dimples.
Permanent dimples. I saw... I didn't have that. Hang on here. I apologize. My PC just refreshed from what I had.
It's virtually indistinguishable from a natural dimple.
But not 100%.
Not
but
100%.
Virtually.
Yeah. At parties, people would be going, I think his dimples are fake.
Now, they had like a jaw reduction. So they show a guy, he looks kind of like Jay Leno. It's the real pronounced jaw.
Pronounced chin.
They went in and they
Well,
kind of
he's got the
shaved that
chin.
down. Well, but that's the jaw is part. The chin's part of the jaw there, so it has. They can shave that down, I guess. See, I'm a fan of whatever. Just go with what God gives you. Just go with it. Don't be happy with yourself. Quit trying to change yourself.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the reason.
Yeah, they have chubby cheek surgery. Your cheeks. Some of this is like, you know what? If I just lost some weight, maybe that chubbiness would just go out of my face.
Are you making your cheeks chuggy or chub?
They have another one that says bra line back lift, and they have a woman, and she's pretty heavy, and she's got like rolls coming out. It's like, well, you could probably again just lose some weight. I'm saying that as somebody who needs to lose weight.
A bra line.
Now this one, I feel like some people may say I need a grin lift. I've been told I have resting angry face, but it is because it's like they have the before and after. It doesn't look much better. It says the corners of our mouths droop as we age, but for an unlucky minority, this is permanent scowl can make you look grumpy. The grin lift is more effective way to turn the frown upside down. And then they have the before and after. She still looks like she's frowning to me. I'm looking at it. It's like, well, maybe she's frowning a little less or slightly less, Like the top one, she's very grumpy. The bottom one, she's just perturbed.
Yeah,
she's just aggravated.
Yeah.
Now. I'm not mad, but I'm disappointed.
There's just a slight change.
Just a little aggravated in you. Now, there are a couple of transplants that they have in here. I wanted to get your thought. They have an eyebrow transplant and an eyelash transplant. Where are they getting this? What does your body reject it? You're sitting there, all of a sudden your eyebrows just go, oh, my eyebrow! My body rejected my eyebrow. It just pops it off.
What if it just does part of it? Well, like the edge of the eyebrow just sticks up. And
where do they get? It doesn't say where they get the transplant from.
Oh, I'm a donor.
Oh, are you?
On my license,
yeah.
I didn't donate any other organs, just my eyelashes and eyebrows.
Oh, it takes hair follicles from another part of your body.
Do you want hair from the other parts of your body on your eyebrows?
I don't know. I'm just saying. That's
He's got
what it
really
says.
Curly eyebrows.
Yeah. Now the eyelash, it says hair can be transplanted to the eyelids. It takes it from the top of your head for the eyelash.
For the eyelash. You're not taking like back hair or anything.
You could. Maybe you got really beautiful back hair. You want to take some of it from there. Maybe when you're getting your belly button done, just say, take some of that hair on that belly button and pop it up here under my eyelashes. It's just gross. Okay, I got a couple more, and these are a little more on the adult side. So the first one I want to get into is they have a, where did it go? A nipple reduction surgery. So it says some people have extremely long or areola, I guess, really large nipples, and they will have them and this is men and women will have that done. But I was like, what? I would have to have some really big nipples to go and say, I need these
trimmed.
Can you shave them down just a little off the top? Just bring them in a little bit.
Is it work reverse? If you got little teeny ones, you could
maybe you can donate it. It's a transplant.
Maybe that's on your donor card too.
Maybe it is. It says some women and men develop excessively long nipples. This can lead to be hereditary or just plain bad luck. Says they reduce the nipples by literally cutting off the tip.
Ah, that sounds painful.
Yeah, it does. Yikes. So that would be horrible.
What was it called?
Nipple and areola reduction.
Oh, it's not like an ectomy of some sort.
It's not. It's just reduction.
Reduction.
So they're not removing everything. They're just, again, giving you a trim, cutting it up.
So there's no enhancement. There's just reduction.
Well, there could be enhancement. I don't know. Maybe you could have that. Maybe that's a second procedure. Why are you thinking about having yours enhanced? I'm going to go in. I don't need them reduced, but I like to enhance them a little bit. I want them to pop. You know, when I go on the beach, I take my shirt off. I want those to pop out. Like, hey, look at that. That guy has some nice nipples. I don't know. The last one that I'm going to talk about, it's a breast lift, but it's a particular. This one they call it. This is the actual term. It's a donut breast lift.
I saw that one too. A donut. Lift. Wait, you eat a lot of donuts? Is that?
Well, I don't know. It says, "Have you ever wished you could pick up your breasts and move them closer together, or just slightly put them higher on your chest? If you have, you're not alone."
What do you got? Hinges on them? You can move them around?
Again, I don't know a lot about women's anatomy, so maybe they can. Maybe that's like, Legos, or they pop them around, or I don't know. No, this they actually, if you're dissatisfied, you get a donut breast lift. So it's a type of surgery that moves things around and makes things higher and closer together. But see, I feel like with that, Krispy Kreme you could get some kind of advertising sponsors. Dunkin'. I got some Dunkin' donut breast lifts going. I don't know. I feel like, that you could tie that in somehow. Maybe you could get them to sponsor your surgery. Listen, I will.
You guys have to have a decal on there then when you're done.
Maybe you just wear a shirt for 6
months. You
months.
look like a NASCAR.
Oh, I've got the donut breast lift. I got wine with sprinkles. Wow, that's really nice. Somebody comes out and says, "I messed up. I got the long johns."
Oh.
Maybe that's what you had before. You go in with the long johns and come out with the little cake donuts. I don't know.
Or the donut holes.
Yikes. That was all right. That was a lot. Again, it just took me down a whole rabbit hole when I got that. I started like, what is that? And then it started. Once I looked up what that was, and I found these articles as bizarre, real plastic surgeries, I was like, okay, we got to.
Yeah, I can only see most of these in extreme situations where you got some extreme problem, but the things people do to their bodies, it's just.
And to be fair, I think it's harder on women because I feel like guys, not always, but a lot of times you can just kind of like, I don't care, whatever. Where I think women a lot of times, not only they care more about their appearance than most guys care about their appearance.
Society
I was
does
just going to say
yeah.
that society tends to judge them a little harsher. And if society judges guys, a lot of guys it's like, if they judge me, I'm like, I don't care. You're pudgy. I am. Okay. You got to have a better dig at me than I'm fat.
You need buccal fat removal.
Yes. You need toe implants. Yeah, I saw the buccal fat removal. I don't know. Was that from your face or something? Or?
Yeah, it was from your face. It's from your cheeks.
Yeah. Maybe
Do you feel like you have chipmunk cheeks?
I need to quit eating donuts, I guess, or something. So, I don't know. All right. Anything else? Did you have anything else you wanted to bring up?
I don't want to have things enhanced or removed.
I don't either. And ladies, on rare occasions, I guess if you need it, you need it, but be happy with yourselves. Don't judge yourselves, and don't worry about what society and everybody else says about you. Just, who cares? Everybody has something wrong.
Maybe I'll turn my innie to an outie.
Seinfeld taught me that. We all have nipples.
Yes. I'm going to turn my innie to an outie, maybe.
I want to be able to change it.
Yeah.
Push a button and it,
pops out.
Pops out, and then I can push it back in. So then you might be playing with it all the
parties
time.
Then, yeah. It's like a fidget spinner. It's like
quit fidgeting with your belly button. Ugh. That makes my insides hurt thinking about sticking my finger in there.
You can shoot the lint out of it that way too. Pop, there goes the lint.
Nice.
Little lint ball shoots out.
My wife did not understand. This is several years back. I said something about belly button lint. She's like, "What are you talking about?" She had no idea. I'm like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." It's like, I assumed everybody got belly button lint.
At least a little bit.
Maybe not. Maybe it's just a guy thing. I don't know.
You get pocket lint. You get belly button lint.
Yeah, because I made a comment about belly button lint. She's like,
but if you've made an
what
outie,
is belly button lint?
Yeah.
I'm like,
or maybe just get it flat. Don't no innie or outie, just flat.
You look like
no belly button.
Like a Ken doll there too. Oh, I did see there was another one for guys. It was the 6-pack implant. It's like, that's cheating too. You get a 6-pack.
I want that one.
But that's like, come on. So I put that in there. That's the male version of the breast augmentation, the breast enhancement. It's like, it's not real. Come on, man.
That's fake. Those are fake. I can tell.
And I've seen where you can get calf implants to make your calf. It's like, it's not muscle though. It's just plastic thing I stick on there. It's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Nope. Don't like it.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Well, like I said, I got this other article sent to me that about things Gen X had to deal with that Gen Z never will. And I read, because sometimes some of these are kind of like, no, that's not true, or it is true. These were
what
pretty
about
good.
The boomers?
Well, it's you two. You had, I say Gen X, but it's boomers and anybody older, Gen X and older, and Gen Z and lower. So it could be Alpha too. Millennials are kind of that weird. Some millennials probably did encounter this, some didn't. They're in that weird.
Well, some of them are on the borderline of some of these things.
Yeah, I was going to say they're in that weird space where they may have encountered this or they may not have. It just depends.
Yep.
So it says Gen Z has already faced their fair share of world-altering changes during their still young lives, leading to their deeply adaptable and resilient nature. So it goes on and says, there are countless things Gen X had to deal with that Gen Z never will. So, and this isn't like, hard work. These are just fun, stupid things. So the first thing, and this is very true, that Gen X had to do that Gen Z never will is memorizing phone numbers. Now, there was a time when I knew dozens and dozens of phone. I've worked jobs where I'd rattle off phone number after phone number. I have to memorize them.
309-263-7054. That was my growing up phone number.
309-444-4197. That was my growing up phone number. Yeah. Yep. I just, boom, you knew it and just go. But yeah, now I don't know hardly any phone. I don't even know my son's phone number, my mom's. I don't know any of those. I just go to contact. I press on the name or their face and it just calls.
I know my wife's. I know my wife's. Yeah.
Outside of that, I don't know. I don't know yours. I just go.
Yeah, I know
Greg.
mine.
I just think Greg.
I don't know yours. I don't know yours.
I just put them in my contacts, and then I just call Greg, call Mom, call Misha. That's my wife, or whatever. So memorizing phone numbers. I also
263-7111 Pizza Hut.
Wow. I will also put on there, as far as memorizing phone numbers, just knowing information off the top of your head. You don't have to anymore because you've got this device in your hand that connects you to all the information in the world.
Oh, yeah.
But it used to be like stupid trivia, calling in radio contests and stuff. You had to know these things.
Yeah.
But now, not for school. I did terrible in school. I didn't know anything in school. But I could win radio contests or trivia games, things like that, because you'd have to know those things. You don't have to know them with your phone. You can look them up. You can just sit there, boom.
And I can tell I don't.
You can say,
maps
Alexa,
in cars.
Yeah.
I mean,
say, Alexa, tell me blah, 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 whatever it is. And it would know. Second thing they have is rewinding VHS tapes. I'll even put cassette tapes, anything. Remember the old sign, be kind, rewind.
Rewind, yep.
They don't have to rent videos either. But when you did rent videos, if you would take a video back and not have it rewind, you would get a charge.
You would. You'd get a fee.
A fee. And then, for those of you who don't know, if you're under a certain age, you wouldn't. They sold specifically videotape rewinders. So you get done with the movie, you take it out of the VCR because the VCR would take forever.
Yeah. So
you
you had the high-speed rewinder.
And they had a rewinder, and it would look like a giant cassette player. You'd stick it in there and shut it, and as soon as you shut it, it would just rewind it. And some of them, they would even decorate like that and look like a car or whatever.
Yep.
They'd come up and put it in there and drop it.
They don't have to worry now. The Gen X or who was the Zers don't have to worry about your device eating your tape either.
No.
Oh, nothing worse than pulling that case out and it's like all this tape is.
And you're hoping it's just pulled out and not cut.
Yeah.
And then you're like, crap. And then
now
you can
I
try
gotta pay
to
the
tape
video
it.
store. Yeah.
Well, I'm even talking like your cassette tape,
Oh, your
too.
own. Yeah. I've doctored so many tapes in my day.
Get a pencil.
Yep.
Stick it
Stick
in the
it in
slot
there and
on
turn
the,
it.
the cassette and turn it slowly while you're holding your other finger out there so it don't bunch up or knot up. You're like, oh, come on.
The better quality cassette tapes had in the corners, it had screws.
Yep.
And you could unscrew it and take the cassette apart.
So you have the
fix it.
reel-to-reel.
Yeah, and then put it back
in.
together. Cheap ones weren't like that. They were glued.
I only ever had the cheap ones. But yeah, so you couldn't do that. Third one is having to get up to go change the channel. I mean, we had to do that for years.
I didn't have to do that. My sister did. Your wife. She was our remote.
Yeah.
Misha, turn to channel 19. Click, 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 click.
Now I just have to get up to find one of these 17 remotes that I need. So there's too many remotes I have now too.
Remotes are a whole nother issue.
You used to have one for the now you have one for the TV, one for if you have a device, some kind of a streaming device. If you have sound equipment, you have that.
Sound bar. Well, but then you try to get one remote to control them all, but it never does it right.
No, it will control some of it, but there's
Yeah.
certain things that it will not do. You're like, why?
Well, our Samsung one, you'll go in, pick it up, turn on the TV. TV comes on. You'll hit the home button and all the different streaming platforms will come up. But then if you go to like just the cable TV and you try to change channels or something, it won't work. It says it's not paired, but yet it'll still turn the TV off. And it's like, I thought you said you weren't paired.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking to the remote. It's like, so then I
You are
tried
two paired.
I tried pairing it, and then it says it can't pair, but yet it partially works. I don't know. It's frustrating.
Okay, this next one is more for the ladies, I guess.
The
I
ladies.
mean, maybe you ran into this. I never did. But it says having to wait for your nails to dry, your nail polish to dry. I guess when you would paint your nails, they have to sit and hold their fingers apart and let them dry for an hour.
No, I never had to wait for that.
No, you would just go. You didn't care. You're
No,
like,
if I smudged them.
But I guess now they have quick drying nails, so that way, you wouldn't have to, you paint them and it's just a few minutes and it's dry. But it used to be that they would paint them and then it would take like an hour. If you touched them, I remember my mom like, oh, don't you smudge
well, they
my,
made
oh,
those dryers you could stick
Yeah,
your fingers or whatever under.
They would smudge them and then they'd have to redo them. It was a big deal.
Now, when I paint my inflated toes, I sit for
Your
a
toe
little
implants,
while.
yes.
Yeah. Takes a lot of paint when you got them, bigger.
Well, they're giant, like a beach ball.
It looks like those clown house shoes I used to get that
Yeah.
had the big giant toes.
Yep. Getting a busy signal on the phone.
Oh,
And especially when you need, like, and you'd hang up and you'd wait 5 minutes, you'd call back. It's like, who are they talking to?
Yeah.
They've been on the phone for an hour. Come on, get off the phone.
yeah. I don't even think Gen Z knows that they can call somebody on these things.
Well, that could be too. That's only, they don't even text.
Yeah.
It's only Snapchatting or messaging or whatever they do now. But,
yeah.
But yeah,
Because I
having
can
to-
never get anybody to answer me when I want to talk to somebody.
Oh, no.
But
Nobody calls. Including my wife, who's not Gen Z. This is kind of on the same, but trying to find a payphone. If you were out before phones and you had to call, you could ask the business, it's a local call. Can I make a call? Like, most of the time it was a no. They may say yeah, they're like, well, I'll dial the number. Like,
and
or-
payphones, you always feel like you're going to be murdered at one of them, in or at.
and they're the filthy disgust. Like, who knows what's crawling all over this phone?
Yeah.
They're just outside. A lot
Yeah.
of them, because around here there weren't a lot of like phone booths. They would just be a little
A
pole
with,
that came up that was sitting on, and it's in the environment, whatever.
and there'd be a giant phone book attached to it.
yeah, gum usually stuck all over it, writing all over it.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
That still amazes me. We had phone books. It told you people's addresses and their phone numbers.
Yep.
It's like,
Yep,
so if you
we're-
wanted to murder somebody then, it's like,
now you could get an unlisted number, but you had to pay extra.
Yes, you did.
You had to pay for that. Otherwise, it was like, oh no, it's going in.
Yeah. Man, pay phones. It's so weird.
This is running out of tape on your answering machine, or I would just say using an answering machine. Just having to record the message to put in there, to flip the tape, make sure you
I
have
remember when
tape.
the digital ones came out.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, this is nice.
I remember we would get home and it was my wife would run to, it's like, let's look at the, do we
It's
have a message?
flashing.
Oh, it's flashing. See who it is. Who left us a message?
Oh, it's a bill collector.
Wrong number. But that was a big deal. You go in, it's flashing, you're like, ooh, somebody left us a message. Now people like the phone rings, like, don't answer it. Oh my gosh, don't answer it. Before we couldn't wait to answer it.
We did like the answering machine.
We did. Also, you would have to go and take your film to be developed.
Yep.
And if you were like us, we would take rolls and rolls of film, and then we'd take a giant bag of film in and get it developed. Like, oh, this is from 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, we just take. I still have some rolls of film. I don't even know what they are.
I do too.
I need to take them in. I found them a few months back. I'm like, what is in this box? I was like, there's rolls of film in here. I don't know what. I have no idea what's on.
I just know they're going to get developed though. And it's like, oh, this one's blank. This one's blank.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a picture.
Yep. That can happen. But yeah, having to go get your film developed, waiting for it to get, and then you could do the 1 hour if you couldn't wait. Otherwise, they'd send it off. It could be days.
Off. Yeah. You get the duplicates.
Yep. Now you can just pick up your phone. You have all kinds of apps. You can say, what's the weather for the next 10 days? What's it doing now? What's the radar? How about we had to call time and temp? Did you ever call time? We called time and temp.
Yeah.
We would do that in school.
Yep.
We would go down to the office, and sometimes can we call time and temp to see what the temp's going to be for the day? And they're like, they would pick somebody. You would get to call time and temp.
The time is 6:11. The temperature
at the
today
tone,
is
the
49.
time will be boop. And then they give you the little forecast. Temperature today, high of 72, low of 53. Winds out of the northwest. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to call time and temp. I can't believe it.
Information.
Oh,
you
yeah.
Call information. 411.
Yep. Number 10, and I did this one all the time, and it would drive you nuts. And you had to get good at it, but recording songs from the radio.
Oh, yeah. This was a standard.
Yep. And before I had the boom box where it had the cassette and radio and everything together, I just had a radio, and I had just a cassette player, and you'd push it right up to the speaker, and you'd have your tape in there with record and play, push down, and the pause button.
Yep.
And every time it stopped, you go over like, what's the song? What's the song? And then you'd have the disc jockey, and he'd be talking, and he would talk right up till they start singing. Like, will you shut up?
Shut up. I want the song.
I don't care about you telling me some stupid thing that's happening this weekend.
Oh, again, they would talk over the instrumental part of the intro until the singing started. It's like, quit talking.
Yeah. They're like, oh, here they come, the band from Boston. That's right. Biggest hit from 1977. They're playing. You're like, they're playing the guitar
Tom
intro.
Scholes recorded this in his basement.
Like, shut up. And here we go. Smoking. Like, well, you talk right to the smoking. Great.
Yeah.
But that was a big deal trying to find that. My son will ask me sometimes, like, oh, did you know this song? That song? There'll be a song playing. He's like, I don't really. He goes, it came out in the 80s. Like, he has no concept. Like, listen, you do not understand. We live in a small area, so there wasn't like a lot of radio stations. There was a couple.
Yeah, and there weren't a lot of deep cuts being played.
No. And we didn't have a mall. We didn't have a music store. They had Walmart. Well, I didn't even have Walmart. They had Kmart that would have some music.
We had Northwoods.
I'm talking when I was like,
you mean real young?
Yeah, like, junior high or early high school. I didn't have any older brothers, so I was the oldest. There's no way to go to the mall. And even then, I wasn't going to just pop for an album that I don't know. I was like,
yeah,
I might pay a lot for this album, and it has a lot of crap on it.
I did that a number of times.
But yeah, I said, it's not like, I said, you guys are spoiled. You can just go to YouTube or Spotify or whatever and type in any song and hit play, and it will just play. We did not have that.
No.
If it didn't get played on the radio, and it was kind of regional in areas, the out west they had a little bit different, maybe more alternative, and down south they had a little more southern rock. In the Midwest,
might have one station around here that was like that, but then it would be far out and you'd staticky.
Yeah,
and you could
it was hard to find.
I like the music they're playing, but I can't bring it in good enough.
I know. Sometimes we get WLS out of Chicago when they would play rock and roll.
Oh, we listen to WLS all the time.
But even then, they were a little more mainstream.
Yeah.
They weren't really like, you weren't getting a lot of different songs.
It was all the top 40 hits.
Yeah. And the top 40 would play the same 8 songs every hour, and they would put, add 3 to that, but it's going to be the same ones. They're going to play them over and over and over until you cannot stand to listen to them anymore. And the last one is trying to find a ride somewhere without Uber or something. Yeah, we didn't have Uber. In fact, they told us never get in a car with a stranger.
Yeah.
Ever. And now it's not only you get in a car with a stranger, you're going to pay them. I'm going to pay you to probably murder me. But that's what we're going to do. But yeah, you would have to try to find a friend, somebody after school's like, hey, is anybody heading this way? Can somebody give me a ride? Can I get a ride somewhere or start walking, hoofing it? I walked a lot as a kid. I had a bike, which was fine until you get to high school. It's like, come on, I can't be on my bike. Man.
Yeah.
I gotta have a ride. You gotta give me a ride.
Come on, man. Let me ride with you. I'll give you $2 for gas.
Yeah. And that was enough at the time. I know. Is there anything else that you had that was just kind of their list? And I thought they did a pretty good job.
Yeah. They covered most of it, I think. I mean, there's always the whole, we didn't have microwaves.
Nope. I didn't have microwaves.
If you wanted to heat something, you'd
cook it,
put it on the stove, boil it.
Yeah.
Hot dogs,
boil hot dogs.
And we got our first microwave in about 1977.
See, we got our first microwave in 1988.
Oh, wow.
I was a senior in high school.
We got one of the original, Amanas with the dial, but
I didn't have
I don't know how we got that because my parents were not, we didn't have cutting edge.
I didn't have cable TV. We never had cable TV, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't personally have cable TV until I was 26 years old. My wife and I had been married 5 years. That was the first time, and I got satellite.
Yeah.
Direct TV. We had no cable. We had no cable, no nothing. It was the 4 channels, and that's it. I think I would add appointment television, that whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because, again, like the music, you can stream any show from any time, anywhere. I mean, you can, any time period, any decade. Back then, if you were going up it's the series finale of this show, and you missed it, well, you just missed it. It ain't coming back on, and there's going to be, I'd be like, I don't know. I guess I'll never see it. I don't know how I would ever get to see this show again.
You might get fortunate that they'll rerun it.
Maybe. But yeah, if you missed it, you just missed it. The same when you're a kid. I know we talked about this with holidays, with all the specials and everything. It's like you had one shot. You had one shot to see your specials.
Yep.
And that's it.
Till the next year. Now, those they would replay each year.
Yep.
But one shot that year.
Yep. And heaven forbid if they played it on a night, it's like, oh, that's the night of our school Christmas programs. No.
I can't go to the program.
Well, I'm not. I won't. So, I don't. Anything else?
Let me think. Was there anything else? Car related. Yeah. I mean, cars were crappy. But yeah, no, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
Thought, like I said, they did a pretty decent job. So.
Yeah, they covered a lot of the basic ones.
Okay, so I got one last story.